So I hope you had a good discussions, and now we begin this session with a just to you're just making sure that you feel comfortable and relax.
Lots of ball. Then couldn't deal on a catch it to your mother's. Comba, one never ship you. Tongue, there was a standing and go with you, go with teacher, this was an idea. So not on the dog the other.
And just trying to start with the cultivation of like within yourself, that the just to saying to yourself that that I will try my best to trying to overcome or counteract this the anger, and even to be so determined that to overrule that the anger, such that even that determined that you wouldn't even give it a chance to even for a second, and so with this determination, so you should think that you're trying to learn about the practice of patience as an antidote for overcoming anger.
Geshe Lord of Sandup Tsering never chama shebadre. Shelo cut the Rogella, but in Yamushimata, Daje Mari Shebana, Tessa den Dubasha. Hachu sit down at Sondona, Yapus Liati, Tenda Kangatin soon, Tanushia, Tenda Kangatin so engaged, and they are.
And then perhaps we should think about this passage by a very famous Kadamba master, Geshe Doga, who said that throughout all my actions, I will watch my thought, and then if I see observe any like a disturbing thought, then I would recognize, recognizing that thought as something which will be which will have a destroying, which can destroy myself and others, and so I would so therefore I would apply the antidote or to overcome that thought or challenge that thought immediately. So if with this passage, think about this passage, so that which also very much resonates a lot of things that we discuss in this morning session.
That's on the thing to happen. That in the says that wrong with you like it. Sherlock got this, then and dinner, Yananda, Lonanda, Sherlock as the Sherlock shows the they got so sell like a ton, sell like a ton. Then you can say, my just said, Trato says, the neighbor shoot to my share. Take a G. Con Deji, they local sound to get it, that's sent to do. But Tani Kundana Liana, Kundoko Shabang, they are dead, then Kai Penduaman, Country Lotion, that's on to God. Country Lotion, then Tano Santum as Zavare, Ona Shamba, Tendry Santojana, that's our then, do washes, and butches your mother, go mat dugo, Yam Boga and Goma knew the ring and son of Sona upon the son test resident.
So, in this passage that we just quoted, so this it refers to the all throughout all my actions. So our actions can be included in terms of whether in terms of like just simply sitting or just the walking or sleeping or just standing. So within those in those time, and so in these times throughout all these actions, so I will watch my thought or watch my mind. So it's the advising us to be very like mindful, always be mindful of or be at presence and see and watch your observe your state of mind, your thought. And then as we do this, then if you, as said in this passage, if you recognize, if you observe any negative state of mind, such as like anger, or there is the presence of such like a feeling of pride, and all the jealousies and so forth. If there's such a strong presence of such a negative state of mind, and then in this passage, then it advises that it's very important that we do something to get rid of that, to diminish that. So this is because if we do not do anything, and in fact if we let without do any harm, without counteract that, and if we just let this negative state of mind fill our continuums in our mind, then in the passage it says, then this is where then it has the consequence of harming to oneself and to others. So therefore, what we have to do is, if we recognize any such negative state of mind, presence of negative state of mind, then we think of how to get rid of that or to diminish that. And in order to diminish that, so we, as we have to, like as we discussed in the morning, we have to, of course, we have to recognize the negative state of mind itself, and then think of replacing that, or in another words, to think of cultivating the state of mind which actually like a counter force, counteract, or which directly, like a opposite, like an opponent force to those negative state of mind. So we got to think of cultivating some state of mind which is opposite to that negative state of mind, and so therefore trying to while we work on put an effort to cultivate the opponent force, such as for the anger, like as we discussed here, the opponent force or the practice is to cultivating tolerance or the patience, but as well as we can also counteract the anger by cultivating loving kindness or compassion for others. So in this way, we work on cultivating positive state of mind, which has a direct, the impact and directly counteract the negative state of mind, and trying to keep our focus on the negative state of mind so that they don't, at least don't get too like a gross or too intensified. So we have to put the pressure of the negative state, state down. Yes.
That's something little happened there. No getting that on Doga. Sam Maria shoot Chumbachi, Romachi Baje, Yamachi was on the seven, 7 Mochi Bajani, they lotion songs on a pencil Chumbachi. Thing as a muscle share of a muscle roll of a road and road and get there, and the figure. The niche shoot over kill Lusho Sound, shoot over Martin John, so shedding on name. So shedding on the Yadon, the peg. So says on what said Hellet, says Chibos about Tigo, Robert Shivati, Pendu and Gezration. Then there Robert Shede Puppet, then the Teton. My son do not, the ring on the Nipan. Then Nipas about the Mania Bad, catch him with Sherry, hang it as a year that Chero Santo, the son on Korea, then Santo generation.
So really, what we are discussing here is not something very difficult to understand. So if how it's just we can understand this quite clearly if we focus on ourselves, such as our focus on our state of mind, our thoughts, and then see, not only see, recognize, within ourselves, in our mind, how there are, if when the negative or unwholesome state of mind arise, and what sort of immediate effect it has on yourself, and as well as on the other people around you, and this, as we become more aware and understand more of this such the negative state of mind, or such how the working of our mind with respect to ourselves, then we also trying to see that, observe the other people, how when they have the same cultivate influence under the same state of mind, and so we can also important to recognize, observe that as well, and so then of course the challenges is then for us is to then we got to do something to overcome or to diminish that, and because this is diminishing, that is important. Is not, we got to think that it's not only for ourselves, but also how if we as a person, as an individual, if we are able to enjoy a calm state of mind, and maintain a very positive state of mind, so this not only benefit us, but these have a immediate or automatically benefit all those who you interact, or those you share your life with, and so they have if you your partners and friends, so they all immediately get the benefit from your the kind of the peace, calm, and the peaceful state of mind that you you experience within yourself.
That's on ten call langita, nodging other than nodging. So no teaching call. Rongijila, Say Maria, Say Zubo Maria Zubo King on the Mandoaji. Call on Matena, Sosolachi, Nene, she then saw Zumoya, the Madam won't tell you what.
So, so essentially, we have to see that when we talk of finding peace and happiness, and we want to be very experience that the such peace. So when talking about that, so we have to recognize that how this is just what we are seeking. So we can achieve that if if we are able to get rid of or overcome this negative and state of mind and very the not gentle, something very rough, state of mind, hostile state of mind, and so therefore we are at peace. If we don't if we are not under the influence or the control of this negative state of mind, and if we have if we don't give our the freedoms or our to this negative state of minds.
That said, Yamo trouble tea on the matter, says about tea on the matter, wrong ongoji done it, me bachela me no me bachela me, Goja Derova. That Tinisha Goja pet Hacho Jan, Manda Shuchi, so the Montes or less.
So so in here we can also understand the purpose of the following the meditation practice. So because as we are talking about here how what we are seeking in terms of the lasting peace and happiness within ourselves, then it is the how that is depend upon the calming of all the negative state of minds, unruly state of mind, and how which really when which really controls our mind. So whereas on the other hand, if we engage in through meditation practice, it is in fact possible for us to be able to to make the mind more like a functionable or more workable for ourselves. So rather than mind is totally overpowered or completely led by this negative state of mind. So rather have that, so we can make the mind more bring the mind more under our control, and through this, when we have that that kind of state of mind which is more towards the control of ourselves, then this will brings about. Then we can able to enhance and develop peace and happiness within the mind. And there's also we also understand as we check, as we examine that how the difficulties that we, or the problems that we experience, and how to a lot of those problems as to how they are, like, to great extent it is really depends or by our perceptions, our view of the things and events in our life.
That's on the Geshe Doga, that's to Chitoja Dana in the Vares, no selection, I'm a chitno, but then I listen to a rest. Jella never puma, Jella petal, but listen to the barrier, then you can do.
So just to quote this another the line by the famous Kadamba Geshe Doga, who said that the all the things like all the the object of knowledge, so phenomena, so can be included into two. So that is to things which are which are like harmful, which brings harm, and the things which brings benefits.
That's it. That thing you let you body share bala, Zeba Gondula. Rabu Neshua. The man told it. Yella never put Yella Petman. Jumbo Chera and roll Sichana, roller, the Pema there, never matter. Yes, and just saying, I call it Pema there, never matter. The other son is Chitona, the other is on another, a approaching young the art.
So it's more these lines is talking about the preventing, preventing harm towards other sentient being, but the extending benefit to other sentient beings. So these two lines really shows the essence or of all the our practice or the meditations, and so therefore now in order to do this, in order to be able to or as a means to overcome like a harmful action to other, and or to rather to extend benefit to others, then this is where then we need to give a thought in practicing the patience.
Never loba man pet one woman. The Chingo never ever go to start there. How go that? Some todo. Monero Jella never pondo. Jella tene pet bala. Gotta go to Zeba go to. The man of God said, Mena, sin never shebadal, pan nation. Sin never changes, partner never changes, and donor never low by your marble. Never low by pan never changes, sin never, pan never, the correction, never low by me. Yeah, never low by me, I thought pet to buy a macabre. Pet to buy your woman, yes, that's Zabat catching my share. Jeje, sin never shepala, panella matre, all of the Gaza, Teba, Zeba Gaza, Nejala, Germany, Zebasita, Nende, goods. Nejala, Germany, Zeba, never pond, Jella Petum, but you didn't with this. That's on death, and I don't call some to another dead and call the other. Madame on the Nolation, how to help us, my young other long run trigger, and trigger that to sound of them.
So one of the patient is called the patient of of remaining indifference to harm that, for example, that we receive from others. Now, so here, so you can see how indispensable for us to really to put this practice of this patient into practice. If, like this great master says, if we have to prevent harm to other beings, or to benefit other sentient beings. So because the if we without without the practice, if we do not think of practicing patience, like this passion of remaining indifferent, or rather more like not retaliating to others, then without this thought on this, making the applying such patience, then whenever whenever we receive some harm from others, and so our we will react with with a harm, giving harm to them, and then they would, that means we give suffering to them, we give loss to them, and so therefore obviously we the next practice, that is practice to benefiting, is out of cautions. So therefore, how you not only that, since we bring harm to them, then they would also again bring more thing of giving harm to us again. So therefore, this is a cycle of receiving harm, and it never end. So therefore, this it's as we've all been saying this that say how the if we the focus, if you think on this, so we can clearly, at least on in our mind, we can recognize, we can appreciate this, how this the applying this practice of the patient, the first type of patient of non-retaliation or remaining indifferent to harm, how this is so effective in terms of preventing harm and to benefiting other sentient beings.
That's something. I'm going to say never said I so control meba say manchu about then all as a neja chamoni with Zavago, they but on the sun todo. Some death of the town. So with in relation with this the practice applying this first type of the patience, so we have to consider that in a situation or circumstance where if we receive harm from others, so we have to think, we have to apply the practice, so which will enable us to stop the arising of anger, and also which would help us to not to be preventing some disturbance in our mind, or our mind being very get very agitated with that situations. Today that sit never control control massaging go. They are never share of it. Sit never share. Control massage della Genseji, then I don't control Sagumari. Gense, some Dotona, some Rivi Genseji, call us, control some Rivi Genseji, other Jose Yutabas, Lloyd and Corner, then call control Sagumari. You said that tells something with you are. So in this situation where when we receive harm from others, so to whether we are able to prevent this thought of retaliations to others, or in another word, to be more to get motivating ourselves to tolerate the situations. So to some extent it also depends upon the reasons. We got to have some sort of reason to why we should not retaliate, or we should not react with giving with the harm
giving harm to others. So that also the important becomes important to have that having some sort of reason. Seeing some reason is so important for us to be able to practice this.
Right. That's on that. So no that or that to kaya amare. Sin never jing, pa never she do she is I don't Lord think for. So no Jeda son madam and Lord take over. Sin never jing and pa never she good. Lots of other think king never showing them. Around just saying. Roll never made king never she pa never she Lonzo del Manzo sono Shalmado and Lonzo del Yungua. Del never matter, sit never sing at the pen never so the cura in no manage 10 yards so there.
So how when in our normal situations, how without such the consideration of such of applying this practice of patience or to reflecting, thinking, or being aware of this the shortcomings of anger and so forth. So in a normal situation, our natural reactions to such kind of situation where whenever we receive harm, so it is so normal for us to think of reacting with giving harm to that to others, and also there's also as the with the thought that we thought of having the thought of some harmful thought towards the other person. So there's also underneath there's also a thing that if we don't do that, if you don't react, if you don't think of like an almost like an eye for an eye. So if you don't do that, as if there is some sort of loss for oneself, and this so therefore it's important. So it's almost like this kind of reaction is all. Our mind is habituated to that way, to think that way, to retaliating, when we receive harm, because it's based. Is of course there is a reason, because it's based on the fact that we, just as any other, we do not want any harm, we do not want any suffering. So it's based on that. So we react.
That's on that. Son that on the never sing it, parking roller, never shares a share no door. Never shares out. Sin never seen Panella shares other cavasal, and never share no. Paroba thought, chamber thought, the muscle, Mando couldn't side by the shin, couldn't do it. Never she's a faucet. Sin never seen Pan never she's other. Garcia, no church. Papa, no church, and what's Jack do. That's some death of deep temple pay. Do I? Neje no chua. Nele Mashepa, Zeba, Hajo Zeba, help you saying the outside Zeba is soon there, yet I didn't get it. And then they change your part, never see to you, didn't change the other. But the car, man, the sergeant, cousin, this thing. But the side, thought not the was on other sugar. She saw that sugar, sent that daughter. Sendria, the little Roger Shin I up, Yerodua. Sin never she, never she as a park controls and never she sat there, surrender. Paroba thought the bottom of the sugar, because I was shin dead again. I cut it on their chocolate. So, shin then go. They're rolling your tune. Wrong on the part that chooses a tradition, never she's in wrong. That's one. Never no tune at the never my ship is ever go at I just ever chose by saying, it's not young and Mother Royal Tennis, that's some pet under the
So that's why it's important to make a conscious, deliberate effort to to apply this the practice of patience or tolerance when we face a situation where we receive some harm from others. So if we have to think about if we think further how the thought of when we receive a harm, whether this thought of retaliation normally or doing something to cause give harm back to the offender or the abuser, it arises normally if we are in the knowledge that we can win over, or we can overpower, or we can challenge that person's. However, if we know that person is a lot more powerful and more braver and more that's something that there's no way that we can challenge, we probably will, instead of that, we might run away from that persons. So, like in an instant, how it is so easy when a tiny insect come and beat on our face, we will just whack and kill it without any thought. Very easy. However, if we confront a lion or something like, then there's no moment we have to run away. If there's no even, it wouldn't occur for us a thought of to challenging or giving the confront or the fighting with that. So we just run away. So therefore, on a sense that when what this shows is that how when we cultivate this thought of retaliation, in fact, we are the object where towards which we are targeting is something more like in a weaker positions, weak being, and that's where we're turning. So therefore, it says that now on the other hand, when we talk of the practice of patience, so the practice which we show towards practice of patience, show towards someone who even to a weak is a very supreme one. Yes.
That's on there. That's in the I was in the never seen a pan never seen anything. I wrote this jaguar. Pan never see by the roller neck, not this away. Pan never see by roller pet home, not this away. In the Shantan, Pa, all I say, still never seen her. Pa never mashe, never mashe, couldn't remember. So, Jen, the thing on the pen, not this away. Italy, get some todo. I know Tanu understand that. Pat never see, never seen her. Got never see Madonna Kundroshisana. So, too much around. So, Tanusia, no, so you did the pan your log, too around you. So Kundra, then she did 10 days on you got shell and some there to that, there.
So we need to consider whether there's any what benefit is there to if we retaliate to a person who bring us harm, who give us harm, and so if we think very carefully, then we will recognize that in fact, if we try to retaliate, if we harm that person back, then in fact there's no benefit for oneself. Rather if by doing that, then rather one is the allowing putting oneself in a situation, so one where one would you would be allowing the anger to arise, and so therefore with the anger, then one as this we discussed this morning, how then one losing all one's inner peace and happiness and stabilities. So therefore it's important to recognize the benefit, of course, the benefit of to one of not retaliating, and rather than in fact to retaliating is there's no gain for oneself.
Jela petwa, rola petwa, yamadu jela petwa, yungirwa. Mate santua. Tende cholo santo. Tende de yungdu. Jela never the social negative, says century, no nega century. There are tennis, Mogo till Datinas Drone, the Susan Devala netting. Jela petwa tiga. Rola, Shella Peg, some tetona, and another yellow never caught about yellow petova. Just on Tennisona, and the young.
So we have to look into trying to develop the perspective that how the causing harm to other being is like causing harm to ourselves, to oneself, and so therefore since you want, or you do not want any harm, if we know that it is something disadvantage, something harmful to ourselves, such as even harming to other beings, then we would not do that, because it's by seeing that. So and likewise we have to see that the extending benefit to others is like equal to benefiting oneself, and again in that way, because from this perspective, so we say because there's a benefit, benefiting to other has a benefit for oneself, so it's more want to be more motivated to undertake that act. So in this way, we we are not just saying it, or not just mentally considering such way of looking, but even how in realities, how when our act of harm harm to others, how this has an effect your whole life, your such as your effect your relationship with other and so forth. Yes. And I also always emphasize that the people where we have to trying to apply our like a spiritual practice. So are those who who you interact, who you live your life with, and so towards those people, so how if we like it is if we apply the practice of like how to preventing harm, and as much as possible, and while trying to be more caring and more the helpful, how then this have if you do that, then how then our practice then really brings a real true meaning to our life.
다 선은 대소셔 다 이게 다 친내가 셔봐들 초 머리비게 이제 대체 앞선도 거로 전체 선도를 하루비가 로라 내가 셔봐다 로 예매 따나 콜 롬 매바지 친내바셔 콜 롬 매바지 가도 전체 선도잖아 땡땡 가도 먼저 왔지 올라서 근데 내절에 전문님이 제가 고타고 하래 더 가르세나 제시아 세발라 만도 컨트롤 리비가 뭐 처리비 전체지 선도가 처리비 전체지 선도 그래라 제 선도네 처리비 전체 선도 내가 내는 생세를 내가 셔봐데 콜로 롱에 셔봐데 롱면 셔봐데 따지세 콜 never 셔봐도 콜라 롬면은 되는 거는 총 말해 있어 손은 대도 와서 뭐 대도 있다 다 사진 문으로 좀 주세요
So a lot depends, our emotional, reactions. These lot depends on our perceptions of the various situations. So, like in terms of the losing our temper, and then this wanting to retaliate or to cause harm to the other person who brings harm to you oneself. So and so in this, so normally in our perspective, so we see it's almost like a very normal, and it's very appropriate to do that. And but however, if we have a cultivate the perspective, such as like if we think about the bit taking further, about the fact that when we receive harm from others, whether the persons that who cause you harm, whether the person has done this with a full like the willpower or the freedoms, full choice, self freedom or self choice, or because that person was whether all is done bring harm to you, but without the person has no choice or no freedoms to upon his or her actions. Yes.
That's on that remarkable. Some Teton, National Church and the Nissan door, the Nissan door, that's a Church which in Serapis, Church the Carrier, National, never send it, somebody, and Tony. Yoala, then wrong their capa. Little Chen say, Yet more. Mogoishin, Dunga Shepa, Shepa, Shepa Son, Mother Tay. Yeah, Nays and Troy, Ribbig, Mother than Tay, Cousin Negative, Nesses, some Bangan Stony. Then there's Yoala, Takichi, or Lane Nazatova, Sell Madea Shepa. That's Nishi, just a new, so with that. Son te se sa son te so te ra ta tin is a never share that tin ta son te ton ta tin ke never share the color wrong ya mare son calling anything wrong maybe next chia son te to that mo son te to de.
So if we investigate the person who the offender or the perpetrator has such a freedom of his or her action of bringing of harming you or not, then there is we can see that in true in fact, he or she has no freedoms, no choice, and so if we understand that there is no choice for that person, but and out of no choice have done that harmful action upon us, then that enable us to allow to tolerate, more likely that we will be able to tolerate, and so and how we understand that is to see. We have to look in terms of how the cause of the harm. We have to look into the causes of that harmful actions. So if we take into account of such how before do something, we decide or we create certain thought, certain actions of harmfulness. So we would have a thought before that. There's a motivation or the intention to harm others. So so out of as we so initially, so in another word, there's a harmful thought or intentions to harm others, and so out of that harmful thought, then we wanted to undertake actions so which can give a loss to the person in terms of giving some harm to their mind or their bodies. So in a similar way, so you can now, if you applied this same a link, cause and effect link of the person's actions and the thought, then you can see the person who cause us harm. So it's also the action, that harmful action is propelled by the intention of that person's, to harm you. So from this perspective, that fact that person is controlled by that the intention of harming to you, which drive that person to do that action. So therefore, from this perspective, so we can see the person has no choice or a freedom of controlling their deeds.
Yeah, that's on the theater. So no theater, that changing the tongue and changing and that is changing. Then I'm much a cherry. You won't go to shoot sooner. Sure, another door. Another toy is Chora Kundasan. Another dog Kundasan, yes, another dog, Jabat and this. Jabat Kundasan, the Choro, Jabat Kundasan, Mare, Jabat Moya Mare, the Matiti, going Mare, there's a part test under Mother Moya Mare, he said, yes, what I said on your mother, Nemo Chain, or 3 parties dinner. That's it. Japan was China, in Tonang and the Japan Tugger, and that's not get Jabako. My son told Jabako Mundo, call on your mother, Matiche, or the so the mother on your Matiji said, Matiji said, Niamo, country on Children. That Papa Chit, Kunda Sana, control 사지 계지 control 사고는 고자 control 사사면 계지 다 내용이야. 다 되는지 되는 바선돈 행 되는 거라 구면 좋아하지. 돈을 내서 되는 선은 제 돈나. 라 제퍼 표 control 바선돈나. 저봐야 안 되는데 표대 control 키를 자 control을 control 같으네. 새 control 온도 그다 대용 게 맞대 너네 바꿔라 마마마마 선돈다 컨트롤사나 타버는 컨트롤 코로나 맞아 컨트롤 사사면 맞들 컨트롤 사사면 그게 내용으로 아주 선대도 하더니 아주 제 뭐가 선 디디 대통 정도
So as a way to challenge this our normal the wrong perspective, so like the Shantideva gave a very good in analogies here in relating to our this practice of patience, of non-retaliation, or remaining indifferent to the harm. So in the analogies, which says that if where for suppose if you somebody hit your head on your head with a stick, and then of course then you you cannot because you do not like that the pain on that on your head, so therefore you would you would think it's the thing of harming the persons because you do not like the pain. And so now if you hear what it says, if you look into the cause of that pain, so which in fact the pain is something that which you do not want. So if you look into the cause of that pain, then obviously the very immediate cause is the stick, that striking of the contact of that stick on the one head. That is the immediate cause. And then of course we will say that we normally don't get angry to the stick because we know that the stick has no, it doesn't have its own mind, but it is controlled by the person. So therefore our angry is directed to that persons who use the stick. And so then Shantideva in this analogy then asks the reason, but the person is controlled, or the action of the person is driven by the person's thought or person's mind, and then furthermore the mind that which is then which is responsible for for such harmful actions is driven, or controlled by like for example like a mental affliction such as like this the anger or the hatred. So when you look in this situation, then we can see that the underlying, really the cause of the harm which we receive and which we do not want, so is the anger of that of that person, or within that person's, and or the mental delusions within, mental afflictions within that person's. So therefore really if we have to retaliate, if we have to show like an ill thought, then it should be towards our anger or our hatred should be directing towards that the underlying cause of that harm that you receive, which is the person's the anger, hatred, or any form of afflicted state of minds.
Kola wrong la tene wrong tene maybe never yell never shin ngene kola chomri ba re son tetona ta ya azre ta ti pedala They better than London, never read that son death and Tommy, called Danny, that called Ron Danny, man, that called room. That's on the Tenebatona, any young mother. Send never seen Gasella. The little patching on the son of Chitona, Kunto Sagamada, hang over it. The union, then the son Tona. They just said the son of Tejan Cosarene. Just said, tell a new one, but there's another son of Chiton Gorilla. Then one year, never a chief, she put a leg on I long song on the which is root over it. I call Tromo Gaja. Cause I omet that she was hair cordless or so like Jagger, call it, talk Madua, some death, that they might December send tongue on the logo, some death and Redia.
So in these analogies also show that it is not the right to direct our anger towards the persons, because it is the main cause of the harm that we receive is not the person but the mental afflictions which has forced that persons to cause harm upon upon us. So therefore it's the it really what's important here is to reflect on this like as this instruction here. We got to reflect on this kind of on the cause of the anger that you and the harm that we receive from others, and as we really reflect on this and on and cultivate or develop this such kind of understanding on the level of our own experience, on the level of experience, if we see that how we in the situation where we receive harm, but how that the person who caused us harm absolutely have no choice, no freedom, and almost like it is right for that person to do that actions, because there's no other way. And when we recognize that, under that in this way, so on the level of our own experience, then it does have really have a very effective in terms of just being able to practice patience, and so immediately it has the effect of calming down this our thought of retaliation or harming back the persons.
Chaba mother, Haba, color, Shomba Ijeshin. Atene, no said, no, he said, Paseta and Yurua. Me, Shivaji. Amading any Shomba Ijeshuji, here was it. Honyon, no say king, put the wrong meba. Then energy, Amabatochis doesn't Amarsi shoot, then get next to finish, Amad Haba caught bear. Shomba Ijeshi Amate. Then you're that saying, call let you call let six pass you was pass shooting. Let you manua. The better area.
And then in the thought transformations, teaching by the famous Kadamba master Geshe Doga. So where the there's a mention of of utilizing the how the love and compassions for as a means to develop the practice of patience, and so in the Geshe we use an example of the of a mothers, who suppose if a mother who suppose have has a child who is insane or mentally insane, and then out of that, if the child hit the mother and do all sort of the in response to all the caring and all the whatever the love that she showed to her in response to all this, if she received any such aggression from the child, then the mother of course wouldn't wouldn't get angry, so rather it will simply make her more concerned about the well-being of her child, and so it is because of it's very obvious that how it's because of her deep love and compassion for the child, that how then in the she never lose the temper and never lose the let alone of doing something harmful, but in fact she will be more showing more love and more caring for that child. No. No. Yeah, and worry, and also would the thing of how what the look for some sort of the solutions, what way she could help the child to recover from the mental illness.
Then Taba Suji Jega Taba Suji Jega Java, Nyamo, then she had the Zigaram, Nyamo Ted, Kuzat, she had 2 mothers. That's on Ted. Ganadua. Gana on the song to the Kuza, Pekalico Shuti, Revolution. Samba Mishiba Chimbocha, Kundosa. Kundosa, Samba Mishiba, Dagon, Kundosa, controlled by Jeje, that is Anna, then Kunzala, Trot. That thing on which the corporate that's a chat so much which no they want. And a trunang other, Shama Nishi Yeria Mato, Cola never shave Titani, Mabas, then other son to the son of Boncondi. Is that son there to the Yapun do I manage? Tavinyamota, the Yamoton, was a mouse. That you move that you don't move share. Nganara Sosara Ron maybe Tonga, wrong Soja, Ron 10 about the new waters. Kate Jala Nijama, never about the Nganara. Tala Perch Thomas, then never she passes to sell it. Coron young out 3 changes, son send it on a yapong and a yard. Then it's a thing other peg. Madoka in a Robajan drug, then Roban road, Robajan as the senator, so finish by Jeton, roller Kazepe. So Robert the Pento Kazewasan. There's on Tuna, then happen you are that's on there, Tona. Nemo de la Paris, I son, on set on the artist in Romania. This also it is also mentioned in the Arya Devas the 400 verses. So where it was saying that the khasa sikdi min sikje khalsa kya shijabak sikdi khasa Khalsa
la tube khalsa
特别年末大年末同这国家没事，
特别你们
年末大日子，
老了
国家同这没事。
啊，你们打谁啥子？
他我那现在的嘛家人的，
老了
也慢慢这上。
那些所谓的你们个女的说了，真的
特别年末大日，年末同这国家没事的。
老。
他那这些玩意吧，真的在那把写的，他说这这个年末被写的，这就个这的。
老了。
就像年末被写的，年末在那边国家这些通嘛的。
老了，老是。
你咋？年末这些嘛，国家这些嘛，从真看到啥子没得啊？
老了。
看到啥年末啥个才就是的，就咋他上这种也不，俺那这鸟来的，俺这年啥在这，瞧着这鸟来的呢，可能也不晓得。去年把这来了，老板没去办通回来，但是俺那人给打把的噻，我看到那啥，这里我什么没去把这，这那个这俺这俺那的，这他靠老板的鸟，俺那个那一把这老板这来想的，这也是蛮强的上头的，啊，他成的上头的啊，他那家的节目人们在挖是，他弟弟那天热起的嘛，他这下做热心的。
So there was the 400 verses, so where there's a line which also say that this relating to the various misdeed or the harmful actions that the people that the being sentient being do. So referring to that, so it says that the Buddha recognize these action as a fault of the mental delusion, and but rather than the fault of the being or the sentient being themselves. So so this is also the saying the same thing in terms of the how the overpowered by such a any form of mental delusion, then how the person becomes so helpless, and so in this way to trying to recognizing the nature, the nature of the like the mental delusion, such as the anger, and how we were talking this morning, how the when we receive, or when a person undertakes certain actions, destructive action to bring harm or cause damage to other to others, bring damage, and then how this was initially started with the thought of like a ill thought or harmful thought, and then can become hatred, develop into hatred, and then to sense of grudge or resentment, and then eventually then person completely lose their self control, and so we can also think of this the power of such mental affliction, even let alone out of due to mental affliction that people can cause harm to other being, but even there are cases where even they cause to themselves, such as even to taking their own life. So therefore, considering this, that how when overpowered or overwhelmed by such a mental affliction or within the person's mind, then we can see in fact the real. If you see the true situations under that situation, then the person is really is a very helpless and a very they should be object of our empathy, rather than our harmful thought. So therefore, if it's saying that if we truly understand, what is if we truly recognize the the actual situation of the persons, rather than just looking at the immediate the actions, outward, the appearance of the action of the person. So if we recognize the real situation, then there's no way that we would harm that persons. So rather, if we cannot, at least if you cannot benefit that person, we can help that person. There's no way that we could harm that persons. So in this way, it's important at least to trying to even to take this practice to even in our everyday life. Like there are always situations where even people you are the sharing life is, so they also might have a moment where they also they undergo such situations, and where such situations will be more understanding of their situation, and then not attacking on the person. So rather see that as trying to see that as the influence of the mental affliction or delusions within the person, and on the basis of that, so what one want to do is then trying to prevent any harm to that persons, because it can only aggravate the situation. So of course it should be best it would be if you could do something benefit, but at least not doing something harmful, such as speaking harshly and so forth.
Wrong is on the mandata, wrong is on the door. Say Yamon country on the two. Country is a Gia Khan. The consoles of Con Yasatala sits upon my thing. Dumana potato. Jenny, Cone, J. and run, they were merged the Rome about it, and you won't do. Then no, you thought part of the Rabataro, then no, you part of the Tagat net this year, Menu Yard. Rome about so song and I got it. So sail on the door, run your sail on the door, sail Yamo on the door. Yamo ten $10 of the new on the Koya, Jeji, Jin, Dog, Bola color Rome about it. Go Nyasa, tell her, then sits a bola. Do one up at their she no got a share like young we are. She won't sing is a cottage is that she are young. You don't end. Say, I am Princess Sarah, you don't end this also. So the Zato read the news, I say, I'm always the less on your mother. That's a 10 tone, call your mother. The nigger calling me. That's a touch of a today, you want to call the Yamuja, sit here. Call Rome maybe chatting, it's their love. Yet that young ended. That's a moment I didn't find it. Right, that. Alzheimer, Coro, that Coro Kindle along the Nichen. Shata is a Coro, that's just one again. Take Mentor. Coro Trumoina, that I know, or the Coro, or even Hot Masse. Pocket Chuchi there, then Coron, Zangondo. Miss I'm trying tied the pay. Yes. Then there on Lenin Jebi Shirat, Shira Nord. Lenin Jebi Shiraz over mid Lusur. Yana Choras on the Sono Todera, Tang on the Messiah, the little you are married. Manzoachi, Ronga Ronis, say on the door. Said the Yamo controllers with the door, came on with us, so the rubber corn, yes, that's the Sabonada. Then do one apoteda, call a genet, Mamma control Masabi, Nigatella, call Chipe Kubezo, I think that's also jig over, call it Jenny Connection, then I don't know New York. Then pass on to na, Yapuya, tennis on to na, so say on San Yamo, country on the run, so the son told on, control the leg and she said, then there you are. Ah, Tandama, nature the mother and didn't the cherry, so something, then the cherry, then up there. Control and Yemus, Yemuntona, the Zaba got over rest, then the territory, some Tetosia.
So we're talking about the shortcomings of anger, because because it says because we understand that if we whether or not we are able to practice the patience is much depends on we seeing, recognizing the fault of or the shortcomings of the anger. So now it's something when we talk about the anger, for example. So as we're talking about something that we experience, it's part of our own emotions that we experience. So therefore, how when we experience that, and then to think of its impact on ourselves and on our mind, and then to ourselves. So generally speaking, so when we how we will observe that how our actions or ourselves we are like led or controlled by our mind. We go and then, however, and then if we check if that's the case, then if we need to look into what sort of mind which is overall is controlling us, and really leading us. And so we can notice that how the mind which is leading and the mind is then, if our mind is led by something positive state of mind, such as feeling of love and caring, then how when a mind is led by that, then we will be then naturally be very our interaction with the others can be very positive. We're looking for opportunity to support to the person, being helpful to the person. We want to looking for something to benefit. Then, however, then afterward, when in our mind is then overpowered or led by something negative, like some anger or something harmful thought, then completely opposite. Then immediately, then we this will be negativity, or this unpleasantness of the mind is actually also can represented in our body, in our speech, and then even our facial expressions, and then even to come down to our actions, that we interact with others. So of course, when we look at, so normally we might be, even though we might be saying speak out of influence by some negative state of mind, we might speak harshly to other. We might do something to really to hurt or to annoy that person's, to irritate that person. But generally speaking, we're trying to not to get too physically violent, because at the back of mind, if we do that, it will be in trouble. Legally we get in trouble. And so we're trying to control that. But however, having said that, there are situations where even people, it's so influential that even people, you don't worry about the legal consequences. And then there are cases of we hear cases of murdering and such, assault to others. There are a case where there are a couple with 2 children, and then they due to such assault case, so at the end the husband ended up in jail. So, and that kind of how that the situation in where the act of the husband, or the more from the underneath hatred, so how that has brought suffering in the whole families. So therefore we can recognize this, the influence or the impact of the anger. If we, how on the basis of our own situation, how when we have when we have an anger present in our mind, what sort of influence it has on us, and so in same way, it's important to see that kind of same when we receive harm from others, and or we receive any harm, or receive some sort of confront with some other, especially with those who are close to one, who seems to be very abnormal and behaving in a very something very provocative, irritating, not usual. Then that in that kind of situation, so this we have to remind ourselves to these kind of teachings, these kind of outlooks, and then trying to be, as we said before, then we have to try, if possible, to as much as possible to trying to be helpful, benefit that person. But at least then it's important. We're going to understand the importance of not making the situation of the person worse.
Yeah, that never Germany never got to tell what I got something. Nearly children song to the piano artist, they sound to that. Do not to let you tell you where my thoughts do not to let you. Manzo Kanga Legarella, then say Madeachi, Madeati to couldn't let you. That's your da. Do not to listen, Kanga to listen. Sha carry and Kanga to let you. Kanga tole chen sha ndrogwa kanga tole mena sha din ndrogwa sha kon sheba tik sen chu sun sha ndrogwa isa son te dona dunga tole se ndo ke chum shera ande ina ngado cham ande yun na chire dwa ra ngene ina so no dunga tole chila ngeze kan ke chwe neje mi jala chemnya bi dunga de neje la ma dunga peje la yung mare 다 병아 돌아 병아장 아도 샤 뭐뭐 전에 용어도 와 강아 정우야 강아 뒤나 병아 돌래 저 같은 제바야 보여나 병아 신한다 어다 쟁해들 되게 세문주 봐요 세문주 와요자 소소 샤 가는 샤는 저건도 와 강아 돌래면아 강에 어디 서서는 뭐도 세마 슈딩게나 샤 강요는 문제 받아 드는 용어에서 손 대도라 다다 시하고 문제다 동아 돌래 제가 실랑에서 제가다 서로 제가 다시도 뭐야 하다 단다 기치하는 것도 대이마 단을 쇼게 저러야 본선도 되네 내자를 전문여다 하고 대선에 앞으로 되네 이제 많이 갈래 야불래 다 선도시더니 뒤에서
so this the first the type of the patience, or which is patient of remaining indifference or non-retaliations to towards the harm, to the cause of the harm. Now, it is more directed, related to we do this practice related to the situation where we receive harm from others. So looks like a more specifics. Now, the next other two patient, that's the patient of tolerating hardship or the sufferings, or patient of the definitely thinking about dharma practice, like patient towards dharma. So these two are compared to that is more wide, and it's more applicable to in our or generally in various situations. For example, when we talk of the patient of accepting or tolerating sufferings or hardships, so that's very it's almost very indispensable. Without that we cannot really achieve any things in life, because there's always whatever our goal may be, but we will have to face certain hardships, certain difficulties, and so therefore if we do not have the not prepared, not ready to accept, to overcome, challenge those hardship, difficulty, and overcome these, then we cannot achieve our goal. So in here specifically, in terms of the practice of patience, then again, when we, for example, we said this morning how we lose our temper when normally in a situation when somebody cause us a harm, and then we wanted to retaliate. We lose tempers because we have we lack the tolerance, in a sense, or to accept that whatever loss or some form of whatever the harm that you receive. So and due to that, and then we lose our temper and not able to practice patience. So therefore, here we have to see how in the life we can face all sort of. We cannot avoid such any difficulty or any kind of like unfavorable circumstance, and how we have to be whether to large extent whether that unfavorable is whether it's going to be something very overwhelming or not, something you can cope, manage well or not. So it's a lot to do with your mental perspective of that the situation and your spirit, your courage, and so therefore if you have a very low courage, that to even low tolerance to even to a very minor like a difficulty problem, and then of course then we will always be under problems, always be we can never overcome, and then we cannot achieve. If we have that kind of thing, then we cannot achieve our goal, whether that be finding more happiness or whatever goal you're seeking. So we because if we do not have some sort of ability to face this situation and accept the difficulty and so forth, then it is impossible to achieve the goals.
Ganga se ta yung ma diwa ta jo de ganga se tole ganga se ta jo je bai sung diwa ni ta je nge ne sa song ten do na ya bun diwa 말 강한 제세 마신테 자모가 되세 마시 바제 릉이 샤드 마도바 샤 가든 저트 바디 운데가 다 손대 동쇼 되레 다 저를 야보세 스위체스
So in fact we can notice that the really the best tools to to overcome hardship, or the most important tool, so it's really your determination, one's own determinations to tolerate and to accept the difficulties, whatever it takes in order to achieve one's goal. So that's the most important. So this is where that's why. So this you can see how these not only in terms of in our spiritual practice, but even in other pursuits. So how important is this the passion of voluntarily accepting suffering is. And so now in this session, so we really just we could not go in detail, but of course we touches on some of the key element of this the practice, and so therefore we I hope that. So hope that you learn something from here, but then the hope that you can find more and study more, and then afterwards to referring to certain the more detailed teaching on this the important things that we learn here. Yes. Then thank you very much.